Still looking at me.
Yo, good afternoon, folks. How you doing? Welcome back into another reaction video. It's the one and only Mighty Avenger. I'm doing alright so far. Yeah, another typical chilly morning that sucks, but at least work was not too bad though. And the good news is that I am off from today and tomorrow, so definitely there are a lot of things I am going to be doing throughout the day till nightfall, like notification and request. NXT Halloween Havoc, that's going to be later on tonight. And after that, there's going to be another game stream, but with a new game that I just picked up not too long ago. So if you're interested, wanted to see the gameplay and like to hang out and have a little chit chat, by all means, it's free to join. There is no fee or any of that BS. So the question is that how long do you think I'm going to be playing? Well, I definitely have a whole lot of time, so let's begin, and let's go ahead and do another Honkai reaction for today, and which is I'm going to be doing of Chapter 3 that involves with Fuwa, and I got a lot of feedbacks from you guys that mentioned some other interesting information, and this is just me just having a little theory that Ryoma May's father, that he was been set up. So whoever did this contradicts of how this would happen, that having her father be branded for the crime that he didn't commit, and knew that word would get out and that would leave May to be despair and be that depressed, and that all it takes for is a one little voice that just triggers her to become as the third Hersher. So that's my only guess of what could be. So it's still unclear exactly who set him up. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. If you're new to this content, all you have to do is click and subscribe, and you get notification from yours truly, the Reactor Man, for reaction, gaming, music, streaming, and anime. And if you have any requested videos that you want me to react, I'll be more happy to do so for the sake of entertainment. But most of all, this is me just doing my best to bring the entertainment just for you guys, because this is what I love to do. So let's begin, and more importantly, time to react.
Greetings, Captains. Welcome back to the Honkai Operations Center. As time flows forward, Fuhua has shaped the history under different names and identities. The 8th Hersher, who calls herself Fuhua, has now appeared before us.
So she
but who
was
is she really? What has
the 8th
Fuhua
Hersher
undergone in 50,000 years? Let's take a closer look at the long and solitary life of a warrior. Fuhua was born in the lower district of a previous era metropolis. She grew up practicing martial arts after her father and lived a disciplined life. Due to her humble origin, plain appearance, and straight, reserved personality, Fuhua was a loner when she studied in Sapphire. Only until she saved a classmate during a zombie attack did she gain the acceptance of those around her and learn to warm up to people. But just when she was beginning to envision a bright future, fate forced her on a path that she had never imagined. The Honkai impact tore what she knew apart. The city was burned to the ground and her family and friends were killed. Fuhua fled and was saved by Moss Squad 5 leader Himiko. In a world where one could not survive alone, Fuhua could no longer afford to dream and was only left with the mission to eliminate Honkai. Fuhua joined Moth as a soldier, but she was still too weak to save anything. Cities fell. Billions of lives perished. Her savior, Himiko, died in the hands of her comrades after transforming into a Hersher. She only had the passion to defeat Honkai, not the power to realize it. In the face of an overwhelming enemy, was running away the best thing she could do? Fuhua did not accept her fate. Burning with a grudge against her fate, Fuhua was reborn after challenging death. In an experiment that was deemed lethal, Igor miraculously fused with her and transformed her into a mantis. And the user of Key of Domination, as well as Fan Huang Down, the mantis brought home one victory after another, until the final Hersher descended. Humanity stood no chance in the decisive war. The few that survived forfeited their civilization. They put themselves into cryogenic sleep so they could start anew when the time arrives. And so Fuhua's story enters the next chapter. After 10 millennia of sleep, Fuhua was awakened as the executor of Project Ember, whose mission was to guide the people of the new era in developing their civilization and resisting Honkai. Fuhua was not alone in this. She was surrounded by lifelong friends who genuinely cared for her and wanted her to take back her life. Yet she lost all of them in a Judgment Class Honkai disaster. Fu Hua became alone again. As a mantis, she is immortal. As the user of Feng Huang Down, her memories last forever. In Fu Hua's near-everlasting life, as fleeting as her interpersonal encounters may be, the inevitable parting that ensued would still scar her for life. With her last friend gone, Fu Hua closed off her heart. She secluded herself from the earthly world, carried on the mission of eliminating Honkai like the programmed robot. No mercy for the corrupted became her sole code of conduct. She only cared for the mortals' corruption, not their lives. In 1458 AD, Fu Hua founded the School of Taishuan at Mount Taishuan, Shenzhou. It was to safeguard Shenzhou and cleanse the world of Honkai. The School of Taishuan, which only had 7 disciples, dominated the martial arts world with the Edge of Taishuan, a secret sword fighting style that could channel Honkai energy. To the ordinary people, Fu Hua was as untouchable as a celestial, and hence was named Phoenix. In 1475 AD, on the Kipchak steppes in Central Asia, Fu Hua single-handedly trounced Shiksaw's elite forces and their strongest Valkyrie, Kalin Kaslana. This battle also led Fu Hua's first encounter with Otto Apocalypse, her lifelong rival. In the next year, for reasons unknown, her 7 disciples mutinied and razed Mount Taishuan to the ground. Fu Hua was grievously injured. Having lost her full power and immortality, Fu Hua temporarily withdrew from the world. Since she could not protect Shenzhou in a powerless state, she made a pact with Otto. Fu Hua joined Shiksaw and worked for Otto. In return, Otto pledged to watch over Shenzhou in her stead. In 2000 AD, the second Honkai eruption brought total destruction. It was later known as the most devastating Honkai disaster of the current era. In a few days, multiple major cities were destroyed, resulting in millions of casualties. In this war, Shiksaw and the anti-entropy fought back in full force. Fu Hua was dispatched to subdue the Herschers as a Shiksaw Valkyrie. In Fu Hua's long life, she has never ceased rethinking what fighting means, so she may one day slay all Herschers and eliminate Honkai. By then, she had found the way of defeating a Herrscher. With unparalleled combat experience and Feng Huang Down's power, Fu Hua overwhelmed the pseudo-Herrscher of fire and temporarily suppressed the second Herrscher, who possessed 6 Herrscher cores. Yet even with such nigh immeasurable power, she could not defeat the second Herrscher, who was under the protection of the will of Honkai. At the critical moment, Fu Hua sacrificed Feng Huang Down and her memories to activate Feng Huang Down's first power, Taishuan Eminence. It severely wounded the second Herrscher and cut off her connection with the will of Honkai, creating an opening for humanity to turn the tables. Fighting this war cost Fu Hua her memories and most of her power. Over a decade later, Fu Hua enrolled at St. Freya as an undercover agent. She became the class monitor of Kiana's class, to surveil the activity of the Herrscher of the Void inside Kiana. Although she approached Kiana and her friends with an ulterior motive, she regained long-lost friendships and bonds in a campus life full of joy and laughters. She carried out Otto's orders while secretly helping out Kiana and her friends to protect an addictive yet fragile balance of fate. However, the mission of eliminating Honkai ultimately made her side with the other end. She took away Kiana and helped Otto rouse the Herrscher of the Void. Little did she know that Otto did not play by the contract. He only roused the Herrscher for his selfish desires, not to protect others. To keep Fu Hua out of his plan, he shot her. To stop Otto's plan, Fu Hua activated Feng Huang Down's 0th power before dying, to transfer her sentience partially into the feathers and bind her sentience with Kiana's soul.
Now
Feng
it
Huang
makes
Down,
sense.
which bore Fu Hua's sentience, led Himiko to the power that could confront the Herrscher of the Void, and provide the serum that could quell the Honkai energy inside Kiana. When
Which
Bronya
that
was
was
trapped in
Syrian.
Grey Serpent's mind labyrinth, Feng Huang Down appeared in time to help her escape. After the Herrscher of the Void begot a Honkai eruption, Kiana sunk into self-blame and loss. It was Fu Hua's sentience that supported her and taught her how to harness the
Okay.
Herrscher power. At last, to protect Kiana, Fu Hua's sentience burned herself out in the battle against Kevin and fell into a slumber. However, that was not the end of her story. After the Shiksaw battle, Otto repaired her body, only to revive a Fuhua that was not the fighter who upheld her mission above all else and abolished her own desires. She had the looks of Fuhua, but uttered frivolous, arrogant, and impetuous words. She had the memories of Fuhua, but could not understand the motives underpinning them. She loathed Honkai as much as Fuhua, but she was no different from Honkai in action.
Yeah.
Purely driven by a desire for destruction, she destroyed. She killed Otto's clone and demolished half of Schicksal's headquarters.
Oh wait, so
To vent her desire for destruction, she
so that
fought
was
Durandal and Kemen
the
to trick
the real
Fuhua's
Otto.
sentience in Funhuan down into submitting to her. She varnished over her motive time and again. To win the trust of Kiana and Bronya, she lured them into her memories to elicit their sympathy. In the end, she was not Fuhua, but the 8th Herrscher born from her memories. Perhaps to the 8th Herrscher, this story that perpetuated itself for 50,000 years is an elaborated, pitiable tragedy. The Fuhua that constrained herself and lived solely for her mission was nothing but a failure. She wanted to become a better Fuhua. Perhaps the girl bathing in the sun on the grass 50,000 years ago would have had the same idea had she had learned the story of her life. It is a life that has seen too many betrayals, lies, and sacrifices. However, it is also a life that shaped Fuhua into the remarkable fighter that her friends believe in and rely upon. What does the future have in store for her? We will find out together.
Damn. That's another character that been through so much through all the years, and that yeah, she's practically that she is immortal, and so many scars in her heart through betrayal, lies, and sacrifice that it was just too much to bear, and that she continuously reborns from one year to another. It started to make sense, but I did not realize that Otto killed her, and what she did was that she activated her Honkai power, that she would reduce to all her abilities and her memories to be as a flock of feathers, and that bonded Kiana. That would okay. Now it's starting to make sense why she appeared when Kiana was on the brink of killing herself, and that her voice and her appearance just came and aided and stopped her, and that was the final conflict between Kiana and Fuhua, which she may look like her, but she's not. It looked like to me that she was born from the memories of the real Fuhua. So that she killed Otto, but that was his clone. So I guess my only question is where is the real Otto? Because again, he is such a scumbag. I mean, so much of taking advantage of each characters for his own personal gain, and that's just really just messed up. And it just how it show how what a scum he is. I mean, Jesus, I hate to say this, but I wish that my character would exist in the world of the Honkai, so I could just personally dismantle him and scar him. But there's no such thing for that. I wish there was, otherwise that I would be completely surprised, and at the same time, I would love it. But, I mean, so many tragedies that it just leads to one to another, but it's all about the learning experience and to live with that. So, yeah, she is, without question, a remarkable fighter and well experienced. So, that I can respect for that. Well, I believe that's all I got to say for this one. And I also understand that there is another clip that I'm going to be doing for another reaction. So that will be for another day. But for now, if you guys enjoy this and What do you think? And I would like to hear some more feedbacks from you guys, so that way that I could get a whole understanding, because everything from the stories of the origin, it's now starting to make a lot of sense with the other animations that I did reacted to. So hit that like button and also leave a comment down below, and I will catch y'all in the next video. So take care, guys, and be safe.